which were basically stage managed to try and continue whipping a propaganda to disrupt, the Zambian people's attention for the real issues, the issues of, the drugs that are, are missing in our hospitals because Misaka has suspended all the procurement processes at Ministry of Health. The high prices of, fuel, the deal that he has cut at KCM, he has, blackmailed the liquidator to resign so that then he can put his relative there, and we know they have already created a special purpose vehicle to which he has an interest so that he can give Vendetta back KCM at a detriment of the people of Zambia. All those scandals are the ones that he wants the Zambian people to lose focus on and begin to use you by whipping propaganda that must be something that may have been done wrong in terms of, issues of resources and so on and so forth. It is my honor, sir, to call upon you to address the nation. Allow us to express ourselves because this is really, really, really annoying on behalf of the Central Committee. Thank you very much, sir. You can address the nation.
Thank you. If the two of you wear masks, then I'll take off mine. Thank you. And I want to assure you that I'm double vaccinated and I haven't had any symptom of COVID in the last 7-8 months. Let me start by addressing members of the press. Thank you very much for coming. You're normally addressed last. Today I want to address you first. Members of the press, my fellow members of the Central Committee, thank you for coming. Members of the Lusaka Province Committee, congratulations on your well-deserved appointment. And I have to say, Chairman, you have hit the ground running. I'm sure that members of the Central Committee are proud with your appointment and the way you have steered work already in Lusaka. Well done. Members of the Lusaka District Committee, thank you for coming. Honorable members of Parliament who are here, thank you very much. I want to thank all of you, my friends, who came to join me yesterday. Thank you very much for coming. And in so saying, I want to condemn the acts of violence that were inflicted on you yesterday. You came peacefully to come and give me moral support. You did not injure anybody, you did not insult anybody, and yet thugs came and attacked you. We've been told in this country over and over again, each time BMW opens his mouth, unfortunately, he puts his boot into it. Each time he opens his mouth to address the nation, he takes his shoe and puts it in his mouth. Every single time. How do I mean? Every time when he wants to speak, it's about himself. I have brought democracy. There is no cadarism in Zambia. Now there is freedom of expression. As though these things did not exist in the past. If indeed there was no space for people to organize themselves, how could any political party have survived? Because for political parties to survive, it means that they must be meeting. For them to have gone throughout the country to get the 2.8 million people, it means that they were organizing. How are they organizing if there was no space? And now an impression is to be created that in Zambia now, only now, is when we found democracy. When I say he puts his foot in his mouth, to give you another example, when we were putting to rest Rupia Banda, what did he say about Rupia Banda? That he was a Democrat. So this Democrat ruled over a country that was not democratic. How? Those cadres who came and attacked you yesterday are being denied today. They are not UPND. Again, it is being done because they want to create an impression that they are very clean people. I heard some person who speaking like a lunatic, saying these are street vendors who went to attack you to PF because they don't like to see PF. Are you sure that those street vendors are happy with what is happening in the country today?
No.
Are you sure those vendors would throw stones against PF today?
No.
Wake up, my friends. Wake up. We are not going to be told a pack of lies every day. And no matter how many times they try to create an impression that Zambia has never been democratic, nobody will buy it. The Zambians out there are not that gullible. So my dear friends, don't you feel intimidated. The reason they came to attack you yesterday is to intimidate you. Don't be cowed. You saw what our recently appointed chairperson for Women's Affairs did on the Copper Belt. And thank you for those of you members of the Central Committee who went to give her support. What she did on the Copper Belt must be replicated throughout the country. Arise, PF, arise. If there's ever been a time which is opportune for us to arise, it is now. Dear friends, I have advised you, members of the Central Committee, I've advised members of the party on several occasions that none of us shall be spared. We shall all be followed. We shall all be searched. Our properties shall be dug up. They will not stop because they are creating a narrative. They have to prove what they said. In trying to prove what they said, they will be going out digging our homes to try and prove that there's something we stole. When I said this, I was very clear in my mind that for as long as I'm a member of this party, I shall also be followed. So what happened yesterday was not a surprise to me. I saw it coming. I saw it coming. I've read in some newspapers today saying I was being interrogated for 3 hours. Members of the press, get it from me, I was not interrogated. I was not even asked any question. In those 3 hours, I was sitting there watching them writing a warn and caution statement. All the questions they asked me, I said I have no response. So they were not interrogating me at all. Those of you who wrote the story that he was being interrogated for 3 hours, yes, you wrote that story because you thought I was being interrogated. I was not. I was sitting in there with my lawyer and my wife, and they were writing warn and caution statement. By the way, members of the press, the warn and caution statement yesterday was not the first one. It was actually the second warn and caution statement over the same matter. The first warn and caution statement was written and read to me on the 31st of January. The same warn and caution statement that was read to me on the 31st of January was read to my daughter on the 3rd of February. The father stole, and the daughter was involved in the father's stealing. I stole with my daughter. Now, I've told you that the warn and caution yesterday was the second one. Exactly the same facts as the first one, which was read to me on the 31st of January. But that was not the second statement. For information, members of the press, that was the third statement that ACC were writing about this matter. For information, the very first time they wrote this statement was in 2019. In 2019. And today I want to say this. A lot of people in the UPND are saying Edgar Lungu was shielding his ministers. I wasn't shielded. I was Minister of Justice in 2019. 3 ACC officers came to my office as Minister of Justice, sat me down and they said, "We have come to interrogate you, sir." And they asked me the same questions that they were asking me in January 2022. They asked me those questions in February 2019. They came and asked me again in 2020. What had changed between 2019 and 2022? If in 2019, after they took my statement, they didn't find anything wrong, what has changed for it to be wrong in 2022? What? So for the information of the public, please tell them that Lubinda's questioning this time around is just a repeat of the questioning in 2019. And then I was minister, not junior minister. I was extremely senior. I did not even go to the president to say what is happening because I know the law and I'm a law-abiding citizen. The matter was buried from 2019 only to be resurrected in January 2022. So those who are going around saying Edgar Lungu was shielding his ministers, stop it. He did not shield me. He did not shield me. And by the way, President Edgar Lungu was not only my president. President Edgar Lungu and I knew each other long before politics. We were friends. We were playing football together in Kamulanga. We were drinking together. If there was anyone he was going to shield, it is me. The other ministers, you may have known them only after forming PF, but for us, we knew each other from childhood. He didn't shield me. It is therefore nonsensical for anyone to claim that he was shielding people. He wasn't shielding anyone. As a matter of fact, you members of the press recorded some of my minister colleagues who actually went to court. So there's no truth in saying that President Edgar Lungu was shielding anyone. Now, yes, Honorable Chairman, for information, is surprised that BMW would not expect me to own $539,000 after having been a member of parliament for 20 years, 10 of which I was a minister. By the way, my working career spans more than 39 years. I got my first job as general manager at the age of 19. At the age of 19. Young little boy with a beautiful beard and a beautiful outfit. I built my first property, which is more than $260,000 today. I built it before I even turned 40. Before I turned 40, I already had property worth more than $260,000. All my working life, I've been sleeping no earlier than midnight. I've never had one job in my life. I've always had multiple jobs. I've had multiple jobs. I work hard. If you see wrinkles on my face, it's not because I'm 70. I'm actually still very young. But I work hard. And that's the reason for my wrinkles. I toil for myself and my family. So yes, it could be surprising for many to hear that BMW doesn't expect me to have property. It will be surprising. However, let things be put clear. The statement made yesterday by SEC is nothing but malicious. Extremely malicious. And I'll explain why. Number one, they have given me property which I don't own. I do not own $539,000. No, sir, I don't own it. At least not that $539,000 they're giving me. I don't own it. They say I have a house in Kingsland. I don't own any house in Kingsland. What I own is a deposit I paid to Kingsland. I paid a small deposit. I said, please, I want to buy one of your houses. Here's my deposit. And after all this drama came about Kingsland and Forest 27 and so on and so forth, and also because I had other priorities, I never paid anything extra. There is no one who can produce title to say, this house in Kingsland belongs to Lubinda. No, I don't own that property. What I own is a deposit I put on that property. And the deposit I put is not $260,000. No. So, naika na nyumba yanu, I don't want it. Now, they say I own $539,000. Remove that $260,000. Pastor, $279,000. That $279,000, my dear friends, is in one account, one bank account at ABSA. It will be interesting on 1st April. Come with me, 21st April. It will be very interesting in court. Because in court, I'll ask a grade 2 child to come in court and read the figures on my bank statement. So that you can see if the figures on my bank statement add to $279,000. We'll have to go and show in court that between March 2018, which they're talking about, and December 2019, the only money that went into that account is $150,000. Only. And I will go and explain where that $150,000 came from. So the other $129,000, they'll have to explain themselves. When I was checking my bank account yesterday to see where is this $129,000, I saw that from the $150,000 I had, I paid somewhere $80,000, and I paid somewhere $49,000. And when I added, it became $129,000. So you can see that this is a deliberate ploy to add deposits together with withdrawals. You put them together and say, this is the money he has. It's just a creation of a person who's directing them. Those people at Anti-Corruption Commission, I worked with them. I worked with them as APNAC chairman. I know those people, they are highly qualified people. They could not make such a mistake. It is because that entity now was transferred from being an independent entity to becoming a subject of BMW at State House. And simply because State House said, Mumangeni. So they felt, Mumange over $150,000, what would people say? So TNT kwa mafiga inkale $279,000, tikepo na nyumba inkale $539,000. So the people out there should say, hey, so much money. We shall go to court, Chairman, and we shall show them that actually even that $150,000, kanaenda nikudana. My US dollar account now is in the negative. Mulibile tunandala. Nothing. Because I wouldn't be keeping money when I have projects. I'm not that foolish to have a mountain of money instead of investing it in my cow so that I also become as rich as BMW. I also want to be as rich as BMW. Why would I keep dollars in my account? I used my dollars to build. I used my dollars to buy cattle. Why didn't they also talk about the money which government owes me? This bomber owes me money. They don't want to pay me. When they come back, $279,000. I don't even have the $279,000. So we shall go to court. Now, my dear friends, I am not bitter about this. I'm not bitter. Some of my colleagues yesterday came to my residence to come and celebrate. We were celebrating yesterday. Chairman, well done. We went to celebrate. What were we celebrating? That BMW finally has realized where the governance of this country is. It is in the PF. Remember, I told him, I said, please, BMW, don't beg thieves. Don't beg them. Arrest them and present them before the law. And that's exactly what he has done. He listened to what I advised him. I'd like to encourage him to continue. Instead of just digging up people's farms, if he suspects that they have stolen, let him take them to court and say, this man has stolen and here is my evidence. Like he has done with me. Because now, colleagues, this is the only opportunity for us to prove ourselves. For as long as we just encourage him to just be talking and brandishing all of us thieves, people out there will create an impression it is true. And we can't take ourselves to court. The only way we can prove ourselves innocent is by ensuring that he takes us before the law, so that he goes to prove whether indeed we're thieves and what we stole. As for me, I'm very happy that he has given me this opportunity to go to court. And please, I want to appeal to the judiciary. Over this matter on the 21st of April, let's start. Sinifuna Vakuti Magistrate Adwala like what is happening with Mumbipiri. No. Please line up 3-4 magistrates in reserve. Uina Kadwala, number 2 must come. 21st of April, let's start. And please, Anti-Corruption Commission, DPP, prepare your case. Sinifuna 21st April tikaenda. No, the state is not ready. No. You effected an arrest yesterday. You arrested me yesterday. You are ready. So 21st April, let's go. Igemuke tione. Yes. Ten tikaone manje in the full glare of the public. Tikaone waboza ndani. Tuachula pa fula. We can't always be called thieves. Please. Mwayamba ine manje, let's go. Take them to court. What's that Kungo Tilemba newspaper? Thief. I'm very happy that you have given me this opportunity. And my daughter is ready. I know very well that you want to effect an arrest on Wednesday. Please arrest her tomorrow. Arrest her and give her charges. What has she done? What has my daughter done? Huh? My daughter isn't a signatory to my account. Huh? The deposit I put on the house is not in her name. It is in my name. How my daughter is being brought into this simply because she's a secretary of my company. You bring her in. What has my daughter done? Arrest her. Because I know that you think that by arresting my dear daughter, you shall break my back. You will not. You shall not. We are all ready. We are ready. For you, my dear friends in the party, and all supporters of the party, all I have to say to you today is, when you hear a dog barking, woo, 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 every night, and you go to check, you see there's nothing the dog is barking at, it's just barking at the moon, kill it. Because a dog which barks at the moon is a useless dog. It disturbs your sleep. Kill it. So mukambia ati uza kawalala muzea uza, please bamangeni. Talemananu kungo kamba kawalala. Arrest them, take them before the law. It is of no use at all to be calling others thieves, and yet you don't want to produce evidence of their theft. There are bigger things to be handled in this country, much bigger things. Instead of wasting my time at Anti-Corruption Commission, you should have asked me, what program would PF have put in place to make sure that hospitals have drugs? We would have told you.
Yes.
We would have told you. Instead of us sitting here to assist you to plan, you want us to be running after each other because mwatikumbira mafamu, mwatikumbira manyumba. Huh? How many times are you going to dig up Mukopa's farm? How many times? Huh? Take anybody, please. Bola punch, amatako punch. To take tuombe chalo. That's what we want. That's what we want. You promise you're going to employ teachers, you're going to employ medical staff. You told us in January we employ. Yafika January, yeah, mu April. Izabwera April, muzatu uzabwaje. Mu December. Huh? Please concentrate on governing the country. Stop this habit of just painting all of us with the same brush. All of them are thieves. If you have evidence, please arrest us like you did with me yesterday. So, my dear friends, please inform the public. Because manje bajana kongwela kondalama wazambo kwela kwa hili. Iwe unandalama zambili. I don't have $539,000. Nilibe. I shall go to court and prove that nilibe. So when they want to forfeit, they'll go and forfeit an empty account. And isn't it surprising if I had that money? Wouldn't you have heard that they've frozen his account? We've heard other accounts being frozen. How come mine hasn't been frozen? Accounts have been frozen before people are even prosecuted. How come my account hasn't been frozen? Because when they went to people, and they know that the only money that went through that poor account is $150,000. They know that for a fact, but because they have to please the master, they have to exaggerate figures. So my dear friends, I thought I should clarify this for the sake of the party, so that my party members don't go around thinking, oh, our president is in trouble, our president, our acting president. No, I am not in trouble. And I am not troubled at all. As a matter of fact, last night I slept much better than many other nights. I had beautiful rest. I also wanted to ensure that my family at large must know that I am not in trouble. My mind is clear, and I'm very happy that this has happened, so that finally the court should go and prove my innocence, and let the ACC prove my guilt. We are ready for them, and we shall soldier on. The third reason was to come and give all of you members of the party my personal and institutional support. All of you must be ready. And when you're called, don't fear, go. We shall come and back you, because we know that a lot of us are just being called names, thieves, without any evidence. Don't be intimidated, some people have been told, no, me, I want to keep quiet because whether you remain quiet or not, so the best thing is, speak out. Speak out. Huh? And the idea of investigative wings of government going to the press, as they're investigating, they go to the press, they inform the press, we're investigating this one for so many dollars. What kind of investigation is that? Investigate quietly. After you've got your evidence, then you arrest. And you present to court. But you go and say, we're investigating this one. There's a $4 million deal. After you've made the announcement, then you investigate. I advise you, friends in the investigative wings, don't play to the gallery. Yours is not show game, it's not showbiz. That's why it's called intelligence work. You do it quietly. Vantu sivaona kuti you are investigating. Once you have the evidence, then you say, evidence, tamanga uyu. Wasati first mwapanga suspicion, mwachita announce, nipe mucha investigate. Mukapeza zero, mwoneka vikuwa. So please investigate us, and once you've got evidence, arrest us. Like you have done with me. You investigated me from 2019 just to come and tell me that I have property which I don't have. Very good. Ikasira mwanangu nzamu uzantini mulipie balance, so that I can own that property, because you have told the world that I own property with Kingsland. I really want it, so you will pay for it. Thank you very much, members of the press.
Thank you, Honorable Acting President. Members of the press, if there are any questions to the matters that the Acting President has raised or any other related matters, you are free to ask. Comrade, we have the first, I'm seeing 3 hands. So, Comrade, you're still at Prime, right? Comrade Wells. So Wells, Chifunda. Wells Chifunda, sir, from Spring TV.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, very simple and short questions. The first one is just a clarity. I've followed your statements why you're referring to BMW. I just needed you to clarify who BMW is, so that you call a spade, because if we are going to go and beat about the bush, maybe we might not be talking the same language. Then the second question that I want is just an update on the 30 suspended PF members from Parliament. Last press briefing that you had indicated that you are likely to undergo a legal process and then file that in court. So I don't know how far you've gone with that, because we haven't seen anything yet in court. So I don't know if you've rescinded your decision or you're still working towards the same. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll allow the acting president to get one more, because those are 2 questions, or maybe you can get, okay, you'll get 4. Comrade Chimunya from Diamond TV.
Yes, and Chimunya.
Oh, Diamond Media.
Yes, mine is just on the said property in Kingsland. You indicated that there is a deposit that you made. Just for clarity's sake, how much did you deposit for the property that you intend to purchase?
Thank you so much. Comrade, New Vision, right?
Yes, I wanted to find out, you said government owes you. I wanted to find out how much it owes you and for what.
I take it that the acting president, you may respond to those questions, and then we'll get another set of questions.
Chifunda, are you the only Jew in Israel? Huh? Yes, you're not. Huh? BMW is no other than Bali Muntuwabu.
Oh, Chifunda Munduao.
Bali Muntuwabu.
Knowing that Bali is referred to HH, should I say you're referring to the...
No, it is referring to Akain de Sami Chilem.
I told you that BMW is reference to Bali Muntuwabu. Chapwa. And there's only one Bali Muntuwabu. Mozi chapwa, that was at Inamkanisanka. 12 hours. I even remember the picture very well. 12 hours. 14 hours.
Very important.
Very important.
Very important.
We've been subjected to lengthy lectures. We're told the things will happen. Yes, things are happening. Now we're having ministers dozing when he's making long speeches. And everything, very important.
Motivational speaker.
Very important. I have to repeat this, very important. Mr. Rupia Banda was a very good man, very important. I have to repeat this, we're burying him today, very important. 30 MPs. The matter is before our legal team. The matter is before our legal team. They are studying the matter. And once they are set, they will certainly proceed. Because we believe that that ruling by the Speaker is an infringement on the rights of those 30 MPs and the people elected. And also, in hindsight, what they did on that day was not unique to Parliament, to this Parliament. It was not the first time it was happening. It happened 3 times before. And as you know, Parliament, as far as we are concerned, operates on the basis of 3 things. 1, the law. 2, regulations. 3, precedents. So if I went to Parliament and did something in Parliament in 2019, and somebody comes and does the same thing in 2020, the punishment must be the same. The treatment must be the same. So because of all those reasons, our team is just putting everything together. And the press will be informed. How much was deposited on Kingsland property? It is not $260,000. Otherwise it would have been mine. They would have transferred it into my name. No? The property is worth $260,000 in Chimuni. But the amount I paid is actually one of the figures they're referring to. After I sent it to Kingsland to share, share, then they added it to me. Government owes you what for and how much? You want me to start disclosing? Yeah?
You opened the Pandora's box, so
Yes, I will say to
Transparency.
you that yes, government owes me because I'm a supplier to government. And I say supplying to government from my farm 2019. So when you see beef and so on, you see maize some at prisons and police training camps, some of that is coming from me. So I'm also a farmer, I'm also a producer. Huh? How much they owe me, I don't know. I have to ask my accountant. Any more questions?
I doubt if my question was responded to.
It was. I paid the deposit and that's it.
No amount mentioned.
No amount. We shall go and talk about that in court.
So we'll get the last, yes. So I'll start with Comrade here. Yes, Comrade. You may introduce yourselves and the media houses you represent, and then the Vice President.
My name is Mutumba Liambela from Movie TV. Mine basically is to every time a party leaves office, we always see them leaders being arrested. It's not the first time. Chiluba was subjected, the late Banda was subjected, the PF now. Why should you really point at ACC? Because it's a thing they've been doing. Should we have, is it not that they need to have a reform where